Welcome back. On today's Dungeon Design Drive-By, we take a look at a one-shot I designed called The Grand Feast. I'm Mark William, and you're watching By DND. Alright, in this one-shot, players are going to start right over here. They're going to be delivering goods. And they'll be given a certain number of goods. So it's very important. Perhaps they have 10 goods. Food, wine, all of these things they're going to be bringing. So a local noble who's holding a grand feast for all his people. And that's kind of how that starts. That's their mission. For every good that they deliver, they'll be paid a certain amount of gold. However, the problem is, as they're traveling through the land, they're going to see a lot of devastation. A lot of dying animals, a lot of crops destroyed, and, not very many people. And that's where we get to in this first encounter of this one shot. To acclimatize the group, they're going to see a farmer digging underneath a tree, sad, he's frail, he's skinny, and they'll have an engagement with him and learn that he's burying his son who died of starvation and that there's a great famine going on throughout the land. Hopefully at this point, players will be like, we're delivering all these goods, like this bounty, to this local noble, and now we're kind of about to travel to this village. The farmer will tell them there's a village up ahead, and they're almost there, all that type of info, and they will be like, oh, great, we're carrying all this food. So hopefully we're planting the seed that they're going to have a difficult time moving this food through a starving population. And why are these famines happening? So, first of all, the nobles are obviously not giving out any food. Hopefully the players will put that together. But second, swarms of sturges, like locusts, are going around devouring all the food. They're attracted to it. And at that point, the farmer will warn them. Oh God, whenever you feel ready, the farmer will warn them. Oh God, they're coming. The buzzing of them will be heard, right? So maybe players make perception checks, however you want to do it. And a huge swarm of sturges will attack. They'll go right for the goods. And at this point, players are going to make ability checks. Not so much of a combat encounter, but a montage of ability checks to do things to protect the cargo. Every failed check they make, they'll lose a piece of cargo. It'll be contaminated by the sturges, and it's something that the players will then have to contend with. Is the food contaminated? They are losing money for everyone that they lose. So it is about bringing as much as they can to this noble. After players survive that, so eventually when you're satisfied, players, save the day, they save what they can. They're going to continue down the path. Yeah, perhaps the farmer just runs inside the house, right? He's lost enough in his life. I was trying to put him down the chimney. Anyways, they move into the town. Again, the farmer might have warned them. Yeah, there's a town up ahead. People are not doing well. So they're kind of getting the setting from this whole area. So upon arriving in the town, they are going to see a huge crowd of people. And basically, the town mayor, or perhaps just a village, important villager, is basically holding an impromptu trial where the players will hear what's going on and learn that this man has been apparently hoarding goods. And all the people want to execute him, exact mob justice on him. Again, hopefully the players will intervene on this scene. However, they are holding a lot of food. So if they don't do anything to cover it, the villagers are going to notice. They're going to swarm them and be like, we want food, obviously. So hopefully they'll get into some trouble with the people. And at this point, it will be the choice. Will they maybe help the people and distribute some of the food? Will they lie and deceive their way out of this? Will they just simply try and walk by without being noticed? But again, the villagers are going to be making perception checks, and you're going to try and give them a hard time as they get through. And if they do ignore it, they're just letting a man die who may or may not be guilty. So a social encounter ensues here. As they're moving through, they'll handle this situation however they do. Again, maybe some of the peasants will steal some of the crates. They're losing money, etc., etc. They don't want to be killing starving people, hopefully, so there is that moral dilemma aspect. But players will make their way to deliver their goods to the mansion of the noble. as they proceed, they'll find guards protecting the bridge to this manor, and there's a mob confronting the guards, having another social squabble. It's a problem. If you really want the players to have a hard time, perhaps the soldiers actually beat some of the villagers and are rough with them. So again, will the players intervene? Will they go against this duke who's ordered all this food? Will they go against their original order, seeing all the trouble it's causing? Once they handle that situation, however they do. I've had people, when I played this, just honestly take out the guards. And we're discovering that the goods were actually poisoned from the person who gave them to them to actually bring and actually assassinate these people. So whatever the goods are can kind of be up to you. They'll bypass the guards, they'll bring their goods, they'll get to the noble's estate. I'm going to do a little bit of revealing here. There's a huge banquet, there's music, there's bars, everyone's like loving their life, right? This, compared to this, should be you should establish that these people are in a terrible situation, and these people are basically living in ignorance and just loving their lives, and the duke or the noble is just up here, just not caring at all. So at this point, this is, as I mentioned earlier, they might be actually, in fact, delivering poison to actually get rid of this duke. Or perhaps they will just deliver food, and it is food, it's not corrupted, it's not contaminated, and they'll have this nice, joyous festival, everything will be fine, and you could have a little bit of a party, I guess. However, the twist that I like to add on this is that the duke is actually a doppelganger who's taken the role of the duke or the noble, and basically, he's a selfish doppelganger. All he wants is to party, and he's just feeding all these elites and all these nobles,
and just partying,
and ignoring the people. He doesn't care whatsoever. So through some of those interactions with the people, through an interaction with the duke, you're going to be dropping clues about that. Something's not quite right, and at that point, the mission will effectively end. They might discover it's a doppelganger, have a combat encounter at that point, or perhaps they'll confront the duke even just in general about the situation that's happening to his people. Okay, that's it for this Dungeon Design Drive-By. I hope you enjoyed. A lot of moral problems going along with this mission, and again, instead of starting a group in a tavern, I think it's a cool one to start with a group because, first of all, in the beginning, they get to use ability checks, get to have some fun doing whatever they can to stop the Sturges, and then as they go, the story can open up from whatever sort of happens at this grand feast. Again, I did it once where it was actually just poisoned goods. The Duke's brother is just trying to get rid of this guy who has been actually being a jerk to his people, and that could be the twist too. And so a lot of different things you can go, a lot of different angles you can take with this. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Take some of these ideas, use them in your game however you can, and I will see you next time for another Dungeon Design Drive-By soon. Thanks for watching, and remember, all D&D, all day long, all night till dawn.